Take this one.
Okay.
Oh, sharp. Watch out.
Yeah, he just pre-sharpened them right before the show.
Yeah, just give it a nudge if it needs it to get over those turnouts.
Yeah, double duty
Yeah,
tonight.
that's
2 trains running tonight. A
That's
great
right.
day, perfect weather.
very nice.
Let's do 263, guys. Richard's running camera. Hey, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Richard.
All right, boys and girls, we got some neat trains running tonight, too.
Yeah.
Richard, give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics. With over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week video show in model railroading, show number 263 for February 3rd, 2024. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, and I'm happy to report that I started on the February video last night, and George Bogatuk does a great segment on backdrops. So it's a true treat to see him do
His
that.
layout is coming along nicely in
is.
his new
Yeah.
house.
It is absolutely. 2 trains running tonight on the layout. Let's see how that works. I've got a lot of
Crossing our
special,
fingers.
a lot of
Crossing
wonderful
fingers,
people
yeah.
sitting here. First of all, starting on the end here, I've got Tom Orlando.
Hi, Tom.
And Tom brought his
Good.
lovely wife, Mandy. She's enjoying watching us do this. Also sitting right next to Tom, I've got Mike Buddy. Hey, Mike.
Hey, everybody.
It's good to have you tonight. I've got Joshua Barton sitting right next to me.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Joshua. Sitting right next to Joshua, we have our favorite little Daniel Coombs, who's
How
not
you
so
doing?
little anymore.
I
No,
like
I'm
that.
not.
I like that you're hanging out more often.
I know,
Yeah.
it's great.
It is.
It's nice to have you. Over on the very end, last but not least, we've got our favorite James Regier, who just got back from Amherst and
Hey,
is
everybody.
going to give us a lot of amazing news about how this hobby is doing so well. Catching up on the progress on the layout around here. I want to say that first, I went to a great American train show this past weekend in St. Charles.
Nice.
How was it?
The crowd was amazing. There was a lot of people there. Steve Mantilla was set up there. He sold a lot of product. He said all the dealers were very happy at this local show here in St. Louis. I think they have them about twice or 3 times a year here in St. Louis. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've been working on the layout a lot again this week. That's all I've been doing for 4 weeks, and you would think it's finished by now. But the
Long
planning,
way from done.
the planning is coming along. I set up this Amtrak consist and ran it this week. I thought about running it tonight. This is powered by the Bachmann Siemens locomotives, which are absolutely beautiful. They've got TCS sound and lighting effects in them. The strobe lights, the headlights, the interior lighting was amazing. The Kato baggage car is nice because it's a modern, updated car that they're currently running with the Amtrak locomotives. Also, I've got Walther's Am coaches on this with the plating finish on them, and the Rapido Horizon cars that have lighting in them. And it just made for a nice consist. I videotaped it since we weren't running it tonight. We're also running the big boy locomotives tonight from Athern. And they are pulling these PFE reefers, which we've got quite a few of those. These reefers are from the Midwest Valley modelers days. I think I originally received these sometime in the mid-90s when I started working with Intermountain on a lot of projects. But yeah, check it out. Here's our train running. One of the big boys has got the skirts on the front. What do they call that?
Side shields, or they're
Side
the
shields.
exhaust deflectors.
Elephant
Exhaust
ears.
deflectors,
Yeah,
yeah. Very beautiful locomotive. And of course, again, the Intermountain reefers. Now, this train came out of the drawer. It hasn't been run in over 3 years. And so, as you might guess, it was quite dirty and dusty. And so I spent the time this week, and it took a while to clean these reefers, top, sides, and bottoms. And what I do, and I'll show this here, what I like to do, and I just did it to one of Daniel's locomotives tonight, and Mike took a before and after photo.
Right. I'll send that to you.
I'll take a flat surface and I will put some pledge on it. I know this is very unorthodox, especially if you weathered your freight car. You probably don't want to do this. But these are fresh plastic out of the box. They're weathered on the sides. Most of the roofs aren't weathered. So I was able to take this soft brush, and as you can see how quickly it takes it from gray to the color that you should see on the top of the freight car, which I've been doing to the military train and all of the other consists down here, because every train in this basement was filthy because nothing's been cleaned for over 2 years. But that was one of the projects that I wanted to
But
talk
the pledge
about.
keeps the dust from flying around and going on your other
Correct.
models. That's the point.
Correct.
Yes, and if you blot the brush onto a paper towel, it gets the dirt off of the brush.
Yeah, I was amazed when you were dusting. I thought I'd see the dust fly out, but it was all
No,
getting
yeah,
soaked up
it's
by
that
the brush.
pledge
So
holding
that's
it
a
all in.
great idea.
Yeah,
very, very
much so.
controlled. The only last news to report, and I finished this at 5 o'clock in the morning this morning, was I worked on patching all the holes from the narrow gauge section that was running up that back wall back there to get rid of that, to add 2 more inches to the diorama, of which the diorama itself, we put that building on it that we were going to run train tracks through it. I think I'm going to repurpose the building. The tracks aren't going through that building any longer. It's going to be set up so that they can bring in Caterpillar equipment, backhoes, you know, equipment like what we've got on the table here, for example, as a loading facility. And maybe they got to prep the load and it's raining, so they bring it in the building. So the tracks aren't going through the buildings. The equipment is, the tracks will run short of it.
And
So
it can still be a multi-purpose surface too.
Could,
in case
true.
you need to, you know, throw a grain elevator up or whatnot, you can take all the other stuff off.
So I'm very happy that I didn't just jump in there and finish that scene, because the scene has been evolving as I've been looking at it for the last 2 weeks. I know, right? Okay, rock and roll. With that said, I want to go over to Tom, because Tom, where did you drive from?
Came from Detroit.
Detroit.
Michigan.
Detroit,
right.
Michigan.
All right.
He brought some cars too. Just, it's okay, Mike.
Yeah.
He's got you
right.
covered.
Yeah.
Not the only car guy in town.
He's got
Right.
good
I love it.
So you like to make track maintenance away equipment, and it appears that this is all very modern equipment. And this is all 3D printed, and it's amazing. You were explaining it to us earlier tonight, but go ahead and give it a shot.
So I brought my lineup of track gang equipment today. Everything is 3D printed, designed and finished all by me, and I do produce these for customers in any road name that they would ever want, or style, or even color with mixed road names. But everything you see here is in a modern tie gang, and we could go down the line. We have
Yeah,
first-
point at each one so that
Or these are
Richard
in the
can
right order.
zoom in
Yeah.
on them.
So I kind
Yeah.
of stuck these in somewhat of the correct order that we have in a standard tie gang coming down that would do a tie replacement. And first you have the spike pullers, and these pull the spikes out of the actual rails in the ties. Not the rails. And then you have the tie inserter and remover, which will pull the ties in and out of underneath the rails. It'll actually lift the rails up and slide them out and slide the new ones in. These models actually work. They have grippers that do not close, but they have a size that'll grab an HO scale tie, and it can be positioned out and, and held out for like a diorama or a scene. If you wanted to reenact a scene of the machine pulling a tie out or inserting one, that could be done. And it rocks as well. So there's all the physical movement of the actual machine works. And then after that, we have the spike hammer, and this actually sticks the spikes back into the ties, and it's got hoppers on the back with the spike load. And it's got really detailed parts on there with the spike hammers themselves have chutes that you could load the spikes in. You could actually see the spikes. So the models are really detailed into what they are for the prototype. And after that, we have our anchor adjusters. And we have two styles of anchor adjuster machines.
Is that those right there?
Yep, that's the very far two. And we have different styles that we can put on each anchor adjuster. We have extended cab versions, we have single cab versions, and we have two different company model machines that are modeled after certain companies that make these models in prototype form. But in that said, we have different road names, different colors for every machine, and you can custom make any set you want. And you can pretty much make your own fantasy prototype, whatever you want to come up with, track gang.
The details on the back of some of these. This one with all the buckets here.
Yeah,
And
all
that
the
one
white
over
buckets.
there with all, it has all the spikes in it. I mean, it's just amazing.
Amazing.
There's a liquid, I guess that's for water or something in the back of that
Squirt
one.
Soap for the spring clips when they.
Oh, to keep it
Lubrication.
slippery,
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we have little detail parts, and then like for the open or the hopperless spike hammers, we have kegs, spike kegs.
Right,
in the
Yeah,
back.
right.
On the end
Yeah,
of it
that
right
was the
there.
first thing I
Cranes
noticed.
that'll actually lift up. It's a static crane, and all the machines are static too. But really, I don't think there's a need for much of movement on.
Guys,
Yeah,
remember
that,
remember
like-
that time when James stuck all those lights into that trackmobile?
Yes.
Think about what he could do with one of these.
He's already got some of these wired up.
I mean, these are
LEDs and operating strobes and spotlights. He pulled the roof off of one of these
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
showed me the wire. It's already in there.
Putting some LED wires in some of these.
Right? Look, he's doing it.
Wow.
This one's going to have a flasher on the top, a flashing strobe.
Yeah.
And, it'll have a battery. It'll have a micro switch inside.
I tell you what, after doing that trackmobile, thank God someone else is doing this one.
You weren't kidding.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
With those
These,
tiny-
these are
Oh, yeah.
absolutely
Although these are
spectacular.
no, these are 3D printed, correct?
They
so
are correct, yes.
yeah, so at least they're not die-cast metal.
No.
And you said some of them
Yeah.
have 40 or 50 parts on them?
Yes, we have, like the smaller machines are about 25 to 30 parts, depending on the detail parts that we like to customize them with.
What numbers, James?
The trip machine and the anchor machine, the newer anchor machine that we have over here, that's got about 50 parts
number is he?
altogether in them.
6.
And each one of them is just completely designed and 3D printed separately and finished, painted, and most of them
I
I
actually just
weather
turned
and
6
dry
on.
brush
It was
before
muted.
we put them and assemble them, so they got like a weathered look to them. And I like to use a lot of the AK powders and a lot of the other stuff that is out there in the stores to make things look really weathered and detailed.
So tell us about
AK
these
makes good
these
stuff.
flat cars here. I noticed this amazing thing at the end here.
Like an unloading loading ramp.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was the first model that I actually seen and wanted to have in HO scale that I couldn't have because nobody made it. So I said, well, I'm into 3D printing and I like to design, so I'm going to come out with my own Scorpion ramp, and I had to have it work.
Can you show it working?
It did.
We'll take B-roll afterwards, and we're showing that right now.
Well, I'm showing it folding up because
You can-
it
you
sits
can,
on the end of the flat
Right,
car,
it,
right.
like it's a
rolls up.
load.
Yeah.
And,
Could
and
do
and
it
then-
folds
Scorpion
up
animation
onto
even
the
like,
end.
yeah, just
How does the prototype work? Is it hydraulic?
It is hydraulic.
Oh, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a
Very cool.
ton of YouTube videos we can show, or there's out there to show the way it folds
Yeah.
down in side view form, drone form, and so there's a lot of different ways you can see to model something too,
Yeah.
not just in.
And I mean,
picture
modeling
form,
these
you can-
two ways, either sitting by themselves on a siding track or having them as a load
right, on a
going
flat
around.
car, yeah.
I mean, that's multi-use.
How
That's
would you want to
amazing.
do it?
I think I would have a dedicated track. I would
Okay.
have them sitting there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're cool enough eye candy that, you can get all the use out of them you want. I think you would lose some of it if it was actually on the car going around.
Right. Yeah.
Because you think, where is it going?
Yeah, no
if you have
lighting.
a
The
spot
lights
on the
wouldn't be
track
on.
Right.
With them unloading or doing their work on the track, then you could think if you have a train of these running around with the flat cars, be like, oh, hey, the train's dropping them off here at this location.
That's
then
true
you can
too.
then you can incorporate that into your operations, like have people do a slow zone around the maintenance way zone.
There you go.
and all that
That's
stuff.
another idea.
Listen to those
The-
wheels turning.
Yeah,
over
this
there.
this brings in a whole new, faction of model railroading.
You can take your little mini prints guys, have them have one of the construction guys standing watching the main, making sure that everyone's behind them, and
Nice throw out to Bernard Helen of Mini Prints,
Yeah.
by
Yes.
the way.
Yes, we'll
these-
have some of his stuff to talk about next
Yes.
week because there's another box up in the kitchen I
Yeah.
forgot to go
Yes.
get.
Right. I was wondering about that.
So-
he's even got the Johnny on the spot outhouse.
I know
Yeah.
that's super duper
Yes.
duper cool.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
You know, you could take your
Right.
chrome pen and do the wheel treads on these,
Sure,
you know,
yes.
to make it look
so
like
not only are you a maintenance of way guy, but you're a car guy too.
wait a
I'm
minute.
a hot
Yes.
rod guy to
All
the
right,
heart.
don't go to the cars yet. There's one more thing I got to say,
All
Tom.
right.
Yes.
Tom, you were explaining that the green glass
Yes.
that is in every one of these flush fits the 3D casting of the cab.
Yes.
Wow.
interior-
Tell us how you did that. You said something about a cricket.
So I
Oh,
had,
yeah.
I have the CAD model of my cab, and the interior form gave me my interior size, and I dimensioned a wireframe and cut it on my Cricut. Actually, I had my mom cut it. And,
Yeah, give credit where
like to
Are
credit
give
you
my
familiar
mom
with the
and,
Crickets?
I see them in
Shout out to
stores.
you.
If you guys don't know what the Cricut is, you can go to any Michaels or any
Yeah.
store with different kinds of crafts and stuff. They have it. It's a cutting machine. It has all these different features.
But don't you have to hook it up to your computer somehow?
Yeah, it's
or-
not
You
that
can hook
hard,
it up to your
though.
computer, add a graphic, put a graphic on there, and it'll stamp out that graphic. It'll
Right.
even cut through sheet styrene.
Yeah,
as
I've
well.
seen really thin balsa wood cut on there.
So I
as
know
well,
that.
so-
I know that now. I'm forgetting his name. He modified. He modeled the Yosemite Valley Railroad.
Jack Burgess.
Jack
Yes.
Burgess. Yes, indeed.
Right on,
So
Rich.
Jack Burgess was talking about how he was using that to scratch build some of his buildings. That he could actually cut the sides out of
yeah,
styrene
that's
and then
just
have it.
another thing in our
Yeah.
arsenal to get things done.
And
What is this train running, James?
This is the Kansas City Chief.
It
so,
is.
Yes.
Very
Rapido locomotives?
Rapido locomotives on the point. It's almost all Walther's cars, except for the rear one, which is a Cotto business car.
Did you like those?
Some of them I added lighting, some of them came factory lit. I added people to just about all of them. The Cotto car at the end, I added a lot of interior lighting. People did some experimentation, adding shades to all the windows, adding graphics and photos to the interior of the car, so
He's
it would
having
look
too
like
much
a
fun.
He
Yeah.
is. And it's like he was saying that the Chiefs are going somewhere. Where would that be?
Oh, that's the Super Bowl thing.
Yeah, the Super
Oh, they're
Bowl thing.
playing this year?
The-
Football playing this year, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
see,
yeah.
Interesting.
see how you tied that in there?
That was perfect timing.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I don't know if this is a prototypical consist, but I don't think the Kansas City Chief had a dome car, but I wanted a dome car, so
Hey, it's your world.
Yeah.
it's my
Yeah.
world. So
Welcome to
this
the hobby.
This one
Yeah.
has it. So
So, can we now talk about those
something
cars?
short.
Of
Yes,
Tom
we're going to
Orlando's?
talk about Tom's cars.
Sweet.
All right, Tom, so you also are an enthusiast of 187 scale vehicles,
Yes.
and you brought some tonight.
Yes.
Is that a supercharger?
That is.
Did he put a supercharger on a Camaro?
He
It's got
did.
I
two
love this
Hollies on it.
guy.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So these are 3D models.
These are
as
all
well?
3D printed models. I got them all off of the web, the interwebs, and basically anybody can get them off of the webs for free too. I just happened to downsize them and scale them up to an HL scale or HO scale and make some accessories like a supercharger. I have some Holly carburetors, and I have about 20 different wheels that you can choose from to change up on all HO
yeah.
scale.
Yeah.
You're the guy that made all the engine parts we showed a few weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Is
Remember
that right?
Yeah,
That's
the
right.
engine block
I
with the
have
holes
Yes.
in it and everything.
10-piece.
Hey, Rich, can you zoom in on these
And all
little
those shop
HO
tools,
scale
yeah.
cars?
Look
Yeah.
at that
Yep, yep.
supercharger.
Yeah.
I have toolboxes.
And Tom, why don't you
air
go over them and
compressors.
tell us what they are and what you did to them?
So the first one we have is a 70 Chevelle, and
Is that the white one?
the
or
red
red
one.
I'm sorry, it's a red one.
Okay.
I don't know. This one is a 70 Chevelle, and it's got my mag wheels on it, and that's basically all it's showing off on this one. It does have my fancy handwork and artwork on it, doing as far as the paint job and the stripes. But the one next to it is a 70 Camaro, and that one also has some mag wheels on there that I had to nip and tuck and make them look like the right ride height. Because these cars don't have wheels that stick out on them all the time. They're kind of tucked in.
Nice.
Right.
The one next to it is a Baldwin Motion Phase 3 Vet that I kind of always liked and wanted, and it's got side
Oh,
pipes
yeah.
on it.
I was thinking it was a Yenko with those white stripes on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Baldwin
Oh,
Motion.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All
a-
three of these I remember very well. Folks in high school had them.
yeah.
Wow, nice.
I got a Baldwin Motion T-shirt out.
Nice, yes. The one next to it is a new Demon, and that one has a really cool paint job on there. I use some Mission Models iridescence colors, and that really pops with a clear coat.
Yeah,
It's
sure
beautiful.
does.
Yeah.
Is that purple?
It's actually a iridescent blue. It's like a midnight blue.
I love
and,
that
it just
flat,
pops, and I
hood,
can't wait to
too.
see it in the sun. I painted
Yeah,
it in the
and
gray
it just
weather.
kind of looks
Nice.
differently, and as it reflects
Any shade, it's
from
just
different
totally
angles.
different color.
Yeah.
And then there's another Camaro next to it, but this one is kind of different. It's a street machine look to it, and I have some accessories that I actually designed and wanted for cars that I really couldn't have, and I made a supercharger that is cut in half that will fit flat on a roof or on a hood,
hood.
and make it look like it's sticking through
Nice.
the
Wow.
roof.
Good
So
idea.
the little bit of tricky stuff that you can add to your HO scale cars to make them a little different from everybody
Sure.
else's. That's basically what I was going for.
And you make different wheels too, don't you?
I do. I have about 22 different wheels in my catalog right now, and it's growing. And as far as all the wheels that I like is growing up on a hot rod that I got to have something similar to, and I want to make
Yeah.
models that have that same style that I grew up liking, and it's kind of
Yeah, he brought me a
Very-
little bag of Magnum wheels, that, from Chrysler in the late 60s, early 70s,
Very
with slotted
cool.
mags. I mean, these are perfect. Can't wait to use them.
thanks.
So, Tom, you said that you don't have a website yet, that it's under construction and it will be coming soon.
Correct.
And when we get it, we'll be giving it to you guys. But as of right now, you're going to a bunch of different train shows. You'll
Facebook Messenger.
be Facebook Messenger.
So you're selling these?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
Yep.
offering these to us?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But
Okay,
that-
talk
I'm-
about that.
I'm going to buy that one and that one.
Wait
and
a
that
minute,
one,
wait a
so-
minute, really? Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
so-
Wait a minute, hold on. Your choice of colors, your choice of how do
my
they?
one-off
They got to get a hold of
choices.
you to buy these. How do they get
They
these?
do. They do. They can message me through Facebook Messenger or just through any sort of train show that you see me at, or word of mouth. I'm pretty big on Facebook or Instagram.
You're going to be here at the RPM in St. Louis
I'm going to
here.
be at the RPM
okay?
in St. Louis
Yeah.
this year.
So that'll be
we'll
a
have
great,
nice setup.
great time
What's
to
the
see
date?
you.
July 28th
Jake,
and 29th?
we actually looked it up. Tom and I both. I think it's July 19th and the 20th.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
they
week
moved
before
it
this
back.
year.
Yeah,
So-
they moved it
right.
back.
They moved
So
it
it's
back.
July,
Come check
okay.
us out. That's going to be a good time there. We'll have a nice display set up.
And
too,
when
for
he has a
men.
new website, we'll be giving it out on this show so you can get a hold of him because his stuff is amazing.
He's offering them built and painted, finished.
Completely finished, decaled, and to your road liking. If you have a road name that you want me to stick on there, I can probably find decals for
So
it.
what's the price range of something like this?
They start between 100 and the bigger ones and more or intricate kind. They're about $200.
Okay.
Okay, that's not bad
we
at
have
all.
we have we have carts, we have porta potty carts, we have flatbed tool carts, we have rail
God,
tie
what's your time
carts.
worth?
Man,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When assembled like that, all the work with the hydraulic lines and everything, man.
I
that's a
mean, yeah,
bargain.
like I said, I could dedicate a foot or two of track right on the edge of my layout to stick all these on, and I mean, they're just eye candy.
This is why lawyers like stuff like this because they charge $300 an hour. So by from
One,
8 to 10,
two,
they got
three.
the whole consist already.
I made 25 trains today, guys, at work.
Oh Lord.
That's right. It's a currency, I guess.
Very true. That is super,
that's
super,
super
cool.
So yeah, the company name is HSD here on South Detroit, and that you could find me.
HSD.
Okay.
HSD.
HSD.
You got a Facebook page?
We do. We have
Yep.
a Facebook page and an Instagram page. And
Okay.
Perfect. All
It's
right.
growing every day.
Great,
Great.
great.
Here.
We can't wait to see your website.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, before we go to Mike, listen, big news at the Amherst show this week, and we've talked about this before. Broadway Limited was discussing doing a SD70 Ace, fully diecast.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And when Curtis said that on the show 2 times ago when he was on the show, I was quite frankly shocked.
Yeah.
Diecast, I haven't seen diecast since, I don't know, maybe the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the models that used to stick gem models and things that would come out. So they've shown some pictures. I've got 2 photos here of pre-test shots of these SD70 Aces diecast by Broadway Limited. So evidently, yeah, rock and roll. What a concept. I wanted to
Wow.
share that for the new news tonight. Mike, what did you bring tonight?
A couple more cars, well, 3 actually. Yeah, this one is another one of Tom's right here, that '69 Charger, and it has those Magnum wheels on it, right?
The
I think what I
Steely's
was
on
talking
this
about.
one. Yeah.
But these other ones right here, I think I brought them in unfinished version a few weeks ago. They're from Michael Humbert at Custom Model Depot, CMD. I got to keep remembering these places. Yeah, Custom Model Depot. And this is a 1971 Chrysler 300, and this one is a 63 Dodge 330. But the detail on these things is just phenomenal. I was working on the chassis of another one of these 71 Chryslers today, and I painted it like I paint my 125th cars, the things that I thought were steel. I painted gloss black and stuff, but the stuff that you guys are doing with 3D printers now.
It is amazing.
I mean, it just
Super
keeps
amazing.
getting just more mind-blowing all the time, it really does. So, shout out to Mike Humbert out there in the Seattle area, I believe, for
Nice.
these great vehicles. He has a whole bunch of older vehicles that are more out of my era, but like maybe 40s, a lot of 40s cars and maybe some early 50s. But the detail, like I said, is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it sure
Yeah.
is.
So that's what I got.
Pretty amazing.
Oh, and here's some other things that Tom brought: a phone pedestal, and then here's a little phone booth like hangs on the side of a wall or something.
I remember when
Mailbox.
we used to have those.
Yeah, I remember when I had a pager and I had to go to
A pager.
Yeah.
I kept my pager. It's still
I-
in there.
I
I,
have it-
can't give it
I
up. It's
showed
sentimental.
I showed my daughter not too long ago because
Yeah.
she didn't believe me what a pager was.
I have a whole phone booth.
Why don't
in
they
my
just
garage.
call you? Why are
He
they?
does have a
paging you?
phone booth in his garage.
Remember when
I
they-
know.
Aluminum.
Remember when they used to
Superman
give
booth.
us phone books? Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Remember when they used to charge $3,000 a month for the ad? I buy property for cash.
Remember when he's paid under $1 for gas?
Yeah. Okay.
Back in my day.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no.
I walked uphill both ways to school.
Excuse me, you're talking to a guy who never grew up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Educating
Oh
on some of
man.
this stuff, maybe for
I
another
remember
time.
$1.25 for gas all the
That's right.
time.
In our effort to promote the hobby, the concept that we came up with about a month ago was, hey, let's promote the train shows around the country. These small train shows that are starting up, you got the little business card ad in the back of the magazines is about what you get other than your social media. We thought, why don't we just advertise some of these shows? And we know this because we've been advertising Steve Mantia's show for a long time. We talked about all the great American train shows that have gone on and showed pictures of each venue as we discussed
The
them.
RPM meets.
And the RPM meet, look how much this show and the What's Neat show at Metal Road Hobbyist Magazine since 2012 has drawn people from around the world to come to that show.
Oh my
We're not saying it tooting our horn, it's because they tell us that's what they do. So this medium that we have works for getting the word out about train shows. And tonight we're going to talk about one.
It's the Lawrence Model Railroad Club.
Yes.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Yes.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
road trip.
Okay.
It's the 22nd annual train show and swap meet, 2024.
That is true.
It's at Crown Toyota, 3400 South Iowa Street in Lawrence, Kansas,
Yes.
which is,
That's like Kansas City suburb, isn't it?
I think so. I don't
So
know.
March
I'll have to
2nd
look it up.
and
Yeah.
March
I
3rd.
think so.
9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the first day, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the second day.
That's March 2nd and 3rd.
That's right.
Yep, and you can
coming
go
up.
to the Lawrence Model Railroad Club.org to
Look,
check
they're
it
going to have a
out.
barbecue food truck there?
Yeah, that's
For
all
both
good.
days?
Barbed wire
Yeah,
barbecue.
barbed wire barbecue. That
Hmm.
sounds good. I want
Yeah.
some pulled pork.
No,
I know,
Lawrence-
right?
Lawrence
So you've
just
got
has a lot of
time.
good stuff. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Further information, the Lawrence Model Railroad Club.org is their
So
website.
that's 1 month from today.
It
Yes.
is.
Saturday.
Yes, right.
Check
3rd,
if you're a
so-
vendor, see if there's tables still available.
Yeah.
They're going to have 8 layouts set up at that show. I
$8
know that's not written on here.
for adults, kids 12 and under for free.
Yes.
So that's great.
It's going to be a lot. They got a great big facility right there at the Toyota dealership that they're going to use for this show.
Nice.
Tons of parking. It sounds like it's a great event. And we'll be talking about this as we go through this month. As we get more information, I'd also like to show you a picture of the venue. I'll get a hold of our contact on
Yeah,
that.
it looks super duper cool.
But check it out. And I will tonight, before I go to bed, set up kenpatterson.com, a show page, a train show page, explaining how we can promote your Model Railroad Club train show.
Now, when he says before he goes to bed, that could be 72
Yeah.
hours from now.
Right.
When he does go to bed. So just keep that relative.
All right, so James, you were at the Amherst show. Denny Yelsma was there. He came up with a brand new hat for
Nice.
us that he was passing out at the show. He gave away 100 hats. He shared a
Wow.
lot of photographs with some of the folks he was standing next to. I just poked you.
I know.
That's the first time I've actually poked anybody.
Change the pen.
But yeah, where's that one at? Here. Look at all these happy, smiling faces wearing the What's Neat hats.
Yeah, look
I
at
see
that.
a couple of
Six-
them
Hey,
right
look,
here.
there's James right there.
There's James right
He was
there.
he was in that series of photographs.
Yeah.
Denny did very well. All the vendors did well. James, why don't you tell us about the train show you went to and the 26,000 people you saw that went to it?
Yeah, so it was huge.
26,000.
26,000 people all weekend, 22,000 people on Saturday. They didn't count people twice, so if people had weekend tickets, you just got
Four
counted
different
the one.
buildings, right?
4 different
Wow.
buildings, packed full of people. I was at the Model Railroad Hobbyists booth for most of the time, but I did get a moment here and there just to wander through the show, do whirlwind tours, that kind of thing. If it's useful to you, I took my camera or my cell phone and I put it on my selfie stick as high as I could get it and sort of did a walk-through whirlwind of several of the buildings as I went through. Of course, I saw Denny's booth. I saw our friends from Spring Creek's Hobbies. They had a pretty big presence. In fact, I flew back the first leg of the flight back from Hartford to Midway, Chicago. I flew with not only Stephen Priest, but also some of the folks from Spring Creek. So that
Very
was
cool.
kind of
Nice.
had a early morning,
Yeah.
very groggy conversation with them. Some of the things that, of course, Lombard Hobby was there as well. They were passing out these Nito scale rulers. On one side you have
Nice.
standard
Nice.
units.
Look at
The
that.
other side you have HO and N scale.
Oh no, they're all gone.
And these are photo etched.
There's one left for you, Mikey.
Oh, wow.
These are photo etched.
Oh, wow.
So,
maybe
so
Tom
you know
wants
they'll
it.
last.
Yeah, give Tom
Now
one.
I know they were
Yeah.
handing them out in the show. I also know that they've been handing
Sure.
out those handy track gauges, standards
yeah.
gauges.
Every
with-
time I
with
order something
every
from
order
these
from
guys,
Lombard.
yeah,
So
they
Yeah.
send me
Yeah,
I
Right.
don't know
one
if
of
this will
those.
be if
Yeah.
this will be
Did you
part
bring
of their,
these for us?
Yes, in
Well,
fact,
thank you.
yeah.
Where's mine?
Andrew handed me several. of them,
You can
said-
have
said
mine.
take
I
them
have
back to the
I
guy.
have a steel track gauge already. I've been using for
So-
35 years.
So I was at the Soundtracks booth. They, of course, now have their Blue Nami scaled down so that it's in a 21-pin format, which is real handy. The biggest use I can think of for the Blue Nami is when I'm at a show, like the RPM meet, and I want to show off the light and sound features on a locomotive that I've been working on. You just put one of those puppies in there. You wire up the track with batteries. You don't have to worry about the external power pack. But this will make it even easier to install. As a matter of fact, the demo unit that George had for his new Blue Nami 21-pin was one of these Alco PAs from Rapido. Had it running there. They work very well. You can program them as you go. In fact, they had a little switching layout where you could, test out all the features with an iPad that they had on there. That they had a contest going on where they'd go by doing rules of the road. So, 2 horns when you go forward, 3 horns to back up, doing the bell under a certain speed. And you had to do everything according to the railroad rules, otherwise you got docked. And if there were 2 ties, then they'd go by who did it faster. But it was on that time saver layout.
Very
But
cool.
that was neat. Intermountain had GP18s. They also had those GP10s as well, those Paducah units. I noticed that one of the units that caught my eye was lettered for the Santa Fe Southern GP18.
Yes, yellow and red.
The yellow and red, the Breaking Bad unit. When they stopped the train to rob that car with
Yeah.
ammonia. TCS was there. Layout command control they were demonstrating, which is a really neat and promising technology where you actually have the locomotive communicating back with the command station, and then the command station sending a response based on what the locomotive has told it to a turnout, a stationary decoder with a turnout or a block signal or something like that. So a lot of neat ideas there. In fact, Model Railroad Hobbyist's booth was sort of keeping the peace between the TCS guys and the ESU lock sound guys. So
Yeah.
things got heated, but we kept the peace, So yeah, it was neat meeting all those folks there. Broadway Limited, in addition to showing off their new models, I didn't actually see their SC70 Ace yet. So that's still under development. But they are also they were showing off their new announcement of the Pennsylvania heavyweights that they're going to be coming out with, as well as Pennsylvania business cars. Now they've also
Yeah,
announced
that's
their
beautiful.
Union
Yeah, very
Pacific
cool.
business cars, and Curtis was telling me that that's just the tip of the iceberg. They intend to go into other railroads as well, potential of theater cars, that sort of thing. And so I'm just, I tell you, the potential of this announcement, if the Pennsylvania cars themselves don't really excite me, I'm not necessarily that big of a Pennsylvania guy, but the potential of where else this can take us really does get exciting.
Just to think now that they're breaking ground, because you got to think of how many beautiful Pennsylvania engines they have made in their
Yeah.
entire years of being in
Yes,
business,
they
starting
are.
all the
Very
way from the
true.
stop
Oh,
with
yeah.
the QSI blue line.
There's a lot of Pennsy fans
I know,
out there,
right?
a lot of New York Central, a lot of Santa
That's it
Fe
after
fans.
that. Wrap it up.
But the other announcement that they had was their conductor club, which is a subscription plan. where you get-
$29.95 a year.
Yeah,
And
you get discounts to their products,
All kinds
as
of
well as well as some exclusive releases. What really probably blew me away the most, and I will absolutely show videos of this, Aurora Miniatures had they've made those gondola cars, and we've seen some of the awesome freight cars. They had some of their Canadian National SD40Fs there, or SD50Fs, their wide body cowl units. And they had their new SD60F. Their SD40Fs or SD50Fs, I had no idea they had rotating fan blades in the radiators. Like, when I've been working on my models, I've been using these Canon fans, these beautiful photo etch
Yeah.
fans,
Right.
and I've been thinking, how can I possibly
Make
animate
those
them?
turn, yeah.
And I've talked to Dan Mischio, and he's been coming up with. Aurora has pulled this off. I halfway want to just kind of buy one of these units just so I can reverse engineer it, how to redetail some
Are
of my.
they actually powered, or do
They're
they just?
actually powered and rotating. And what's more, their SD60F, this wasn't actually working at the show, but it's supposed to simulate thermostatic control on those fans.
Wow.
So that you notch the throttle up, you'll have a second fan going.
Right.
Notch it up a little bit more, all three
Man.
will be going.
It is.
That stuff just absolutely blew me away.
Yeah.
And of course, there were all sorts of wonderful announcements, but nothing just kind of blows me away like
Well,
a
I was gonna-
technological advance like that. Wow.
Just going to chime in, just of course, well as being a mechanic on them full time, I can tell you that every time you notch it up, that motor's going to get hot, and that extra set of
Yep,
fans is
gonna
there to
kick
compensate
on.
for the extra
Yeah.
heat to kick on. I think every 2 notches
Yeah.
or so.
But that thermostatic control, that's just wild, when they get the kinks worked out on that one, it will be
That'll be cool.
that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them all running all the time. You don't want their engine running too cold, so below where it's efficient. But it's
Rock and roll.
Very cool.
That was very
It
genius.
was,
though.
and I just want to say too, the most important part, it was wonderful meeting the many hundreds of people that stopped by the booth throughout, wanting to talk to me, and meeting people, shaking hands. I was out of voice by Saturday night for sure,
I bet. I bet.
and then
You-
got to do it all over another day.
Yeah.
You said 100 people stopped by Denny Yelsma's booth?
100 hats.
100 hats.
hats.
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw more
Probably
hats than
100.
that because people were wearing their hats from years prior.
That's
but
great.
everyone that saw Denny was excited about
Our new
reporting
hat
that as
right
well.
here, This is the Ricky Bobby version.
Yeah.
Love it.
NASCAR.
Yeah, I love it.
So
It's
far, I
great.
really like the brown and
I
black
do
one.
too.
I've been wearing that a lot.
And he has some
like
new
this one.
logos, right?
The new logos that we
neat,
want to
the
talk
Ricky
about
Bobby version, yes.
before we leave tonight. I do want to capture, first of all, I'm starting out with the Commodore Vanderbilt. That's that beautiful gray locomotive that we shared from Broadway Limited. And Denny's got a brand new logo of that New York Central locomotive in gray here with a red background. You've also got the Scout, the Santa Fe Scout,
Economy travel during the Great Depression.
with the
Yeah,
gentleman
ain't
riding
that
on the
cool?
horse.
In fact, one story I heard about the Scout was that this was a method that folks used, during the Dust Bowl. Things were so hot, people needed a way to keep cold. They would actually buy a ticket to ride the Scout to the next station because it was air conditioned.
Nice.
Ride the train, cool off, get off, and
Next one I've got is a Texas Mexican Railroad,
Tex-Mex.
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 The East and West Washington, that's a B&O, via the East and West Washington in blue. I've got the Boston and Albany. Boston and Albany Hobbies. Check that logo out.
That is very
That is
cool.
very-
Right.
And there's two different Ann Arbor railroads right here. I love this first flag one.
Yes. In yellow and blue. And check out the locomotive.
Is that a shark nose? What kind of locomotive is that?
I got two pairs of glasses on, and it looks like a PA to me.
Oh, that's very
A
cool.
PA1.
Very cool.
Yep.
yeah.
And then here's a steam train, and it has palm trees behind it.
Florida.
It does. Atlantic Coast
Yeah, Atlantic coastline.
lines.
Yeah,
God, you've
that's
got good eyes. I've got two pairs of glasses on to see
The
this.
462 Pacific.
A lot of neat stuff going on this week. I'm going to talk about these wonderful flatbed trucks next week on the show, and I've also got a segment coming up on steamboats because I'm going to build a steamboat for the water scene over there. I've been doing a lot of research, and I got pictures of the Delta Queen from one of our Facebook friends that he shot this week
Yeah.
that I can't wait to show as we talk about
I
that.
love seeing those new Viking longboats on these rivers out
Oh,
here.
they're beautiful.
They're actually doing them in Europe too, and I mean, how cool would that be to take a 10-day trip and leave the boat every afternoon?
Well, I saw a Viking advertisement for a tour of coastal England. You go around from town to town around the coast.
But-
and I was wondering to myself, is this a pleasure cruise or is this a reenactment of
Well,
the
they're-
Viking?
They're stopping
raids on
all
all these
all
cities,
along
yeah.
the Mississippi now, so
Yeah.
it's great.
All right, guys, we're going to take our NCE power system. I'm going to give this one to you because
Thank
you know
you.
what? We're already running trains down here,
I know.
but it's something that I like to do. I love the small throttle because I can hold it in my hand and just do this while I'm doing my switching.
I like that I can consist on this one easily.
I talked to
so-
George Bogatuk about this week, and he just said he went on about how easy it is with the
Yeah.
screen and the programming,
You know,
and
a
that's
lot
why
of-
he likes it.
A lot of
very
people
cool.
at the train show for their demonstration layouts had them
Use the
set up
NC.
with the NCE power cab just because it's very simple.
Well,
to use.
yeah, it's easy, and I know where all the buttons are without having to look now.
Right,
So-
everything's
another-
all properly labeled. of what
They got
buttons
so
what.
much other stuff besides just the power cabs. I went through the website the other day and started going through it and looking at all the various decoders and
Yeah.
all the various. He's got circuit breakers, he's
Track
got
detectors,
track
all kinds of
detectors,
different
stuff
stuff.
for lighting. I mean, he's got stuff I don't even understand how to use, but I know a lot of you guys do.
Yeah, well, and I know they've just upgraded their system as well, so we'll get a full report from NCE
Nice.
to get that report out to you.
That sounds good.
What all
Very
the upgrades
cool.
are.
I heard it was like a full facelift, but let's stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you very
Yeah.
much for driving from far, far away to
thanks,
come
Tom.
here and
You're
share
welcome.
your gorgeous
Yes.
maintenance away equipment. It's top
for having
notch.
me
It
out.
just
You're
blows me
beautiful.
away. Tell them what website to go to one more time.
Here on South Detroit, and that's on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
And
say
then when
say
we
the name
have-
of it again.
That's here on South Detroit or HSD.
HSD,
HSD,
here on
here
South.
on South Detroit.
All right.
And then when you have a website started, you'll get back to us and we'll
will.
put it out to all
It'll
of
be here
our.
on South Detroit Model Railroad Company.
Great. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having
Awesome.
us. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so with that, best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it sitting all around me right here tonight.
Kumbaya.
I know, right?
Bye,
Let's do this.
Let's go run some trains.
Have a good one. All right, thumbnail.
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 Everybody
Oh,
pick
that's
something up
easy.
and hold it.
Oh, okay, that's easy. I know, right? Ready, set, look at camera one, including you
There
this
you go.
time. You never look at the camera. Look over there, camera one. Give me some teeth. And we have a thumbnail.
Good job,
I
everybody.
really like it when we shoot thumbnails over on that bridge over
Oh,
there.
me too.
Yeah, I do too.
It's like the good old days where we go to different points of the
We
layout.
can do that tonight.
Okay.
We don't have to use that thumbnail.
Might as
I'm gonna
well.
kill sound. Keep
Microphone's
camera
off.
1 rolling for 45 seconds.
Oh,
So
man.
42 minutes, guys.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Okay, we made it.
Yep, it was good.
Very good.
All right, Josh. Yeah, all good. We're still
I forgot to
recording
put
now.
my phone on silent. I was hoping it wouldn't ring.
I was wondering what ringtone you were in.
Okay, we got good sound.
Oh yeah, I was gonna try out.
Yeah, no shit. Tom's microphone wasn't even. It was on mute for the first, but I still heard him.
Yeah, I heard.
But then once I got him set up, oh my god, he was there. It was just perfect.
Ken, you want to take some B-roll of some of his stuff in here?
Yes, I want to. There's some stuff I remember. I need to shoot the flat car thing opening up.
Yes. Take it. Take it. Take it.
But I really just.